to What the Friday with Hackster. I've got here Moheeb of Octoblu, who is visiting from Phoenix for IDF. So what is Octoblu?
So Octoblu is an Internet of Things platform that allows you to connect devices and web services together and build applications in the cloud visually. And it's open, most of it is open source. We have about 990 open source repositories on GitHub.
Awesome.
And it's free to use.
And can you connect different devices to Octoblu, or do you use APIs, or both? How does it work?
So Octoblu is built on top of our open source messaging platform called MeshBlue, formerly known as Skynet IM to the old school people. And it's a multi-protocol messaging service, so you can use CoAP, WebSockets, HTTP, MQTT, whatever you want, to communicate to one server through a unified API.
Cool. So you host a server, or can people host their own servers?
So MeshBlue is completely open source, so if you wanted to build your own private MeshBlue stack, you can do that.
Cool.
But we do have one that's hosted on our site that you can use for free.
Nice. So they've also got an app that we were playing around with, but we'll show you that later. Yeah, cliffhanger. Awesome. So what kind of stuff do you build with this?
So I build a lot of robots and art installations. So when I first got started with Octoblu, I had met Chris Matthew, who's the founder at our Hackerspace Heatsink Labs in Mesa, Arizona. And someone introduced me to this crazy guy with a mustache, and I thought, oh gosh, what's going to happen?
The mustache is magnificent.
It is glorious.
It's so good.
And so he showed me this thing, and he's the one who showed me Node.js and Johnny 5, my favorite JavaScript robotics library, and Skynet, which is now MeshBlue. And since then, I've just been using it to connect everything from projection mapping installations to drink serving robots for Intel. And
so you done some brainwave stuff?
Oh yes, we've done quite a bit with brainwaves. Yes.
That's awesome. Quite a bit with brainwaves. Yes. Cool. So what are your favorite projects that people have done with this? Let's just have a look at a few.
Oh, excellent.
So you're on Hackster.io/Octoblu.
Yes.
Let's see what people have been dreaming of.
So that's Andrew, our intern. He made a kind of alert system using the SmartThings integration we have with this siren, and it's just.
Does that go off in the office?
Yeah, it does. Sometimes we have it set up to. We constantly change it. Like with Octoblu, you can quickly change what your flow does on the fly. So sometimes it's PagerDuty alerts. Sometimes it's GitHub releases. Other times it's just whenever Andrew wants to mess with us.
Do you change it sometimes to lunch so that you don't get this Pavlovian bad response? And sometimes you could train yourself so that you associate the siren with lunch, and then every time, and then you switch it to PagerDuty alerts or something.
That's actually not a bad idea, and now we should probably do that.
Yeah.
We've done some messing around with having MindWaves, the NeuroSky MindWaves on, and set it up with lights and text messages to notify our boss if we weren't focusing very well. That did not last very long.
Well, unfortunately, I focus very hard when I'm watching cat videos.
I mean, it takes a lot of attention.
Yeah, right? Check it out, guys. Here's the home security project. You can go build this yourself. Just go get a siren and stuff.
Yep.
You can find the diagram. So this is what the Octoblu interface looks like. And here is the main Octoblu page, as I was saying, with its beautiful revamp.
The new design is great.
Oh, it's so good, right? I'm allowed to say that because I wasn't actually involved in building this at all, so...
And neither was I. There was another hilarious project we've got to see. So Citrix acquired us about 2 years ago. So in our office we have, we have our section with the robots and all the crazy stuff, and then we've got the rest of the guys who are in sales, and they wanted to have some way of showing on a screen, hey, good job, so and so, on your current deal. So again, another project from our intern. He set up a web page that receives messages through Octoblu, and the user can set up a form and say, hey, this is the person's name, this is the sale, and if it's a really high sale, it shows a Charizard. If it's a really low one, it shows a Weedle or something. He built that in an hour, and
that's fantastic.
It's a full-on app.
I would be a lot more motivated if I got a Charizard every time I did something cool.
Exactly.
Do you have a good example we can look at?
Let's build one. So
Awesome.
we've got so this is the main dashboard. So when you log in, this will be the first page you kind of see. Quick point, down here we've got guides. This first one and these last ones will be your favorite links. So we'll add a new flow here. And so a new account, you'll have a stock price node, a weather node, and a free SMS node. So just kind of quick layout, we've got on this side, you've got all your things that you've got connected. I see a Stargate there. And then tools, and these are like your logic operators or, REST inputs. Actually, we just added Amazon Echo in and out, so we're waiting on our Amazon skill to be approved.
Oh, cool.
And you can use Amazon Echo. So I'm going to cheat, since I'm a power user, we're going to search for what we want. So we'll need a trigger first. This is just a simple button to kick off a flow, but every trigger is also a webhook. So, for example, when we got the Flick Bluetooth button, it took like 5 minutes to connect that up because their app lets you do webhooks. And now we're going to add a weather node. Right, and we're going to wire that up, and we're going to need a SMS node. And is that a debug? Before we do that, we're going to need to see what the output looks like. So all of these nodes, they pass JSON to each other, which makes it very easy. So let's see, what city shall we put in? San Francisco.
San Francisco, yeah.
And I believe it's in California.
I think that's where we're
Probably in the USA. Let's just see. You never know.
Galactic Federation.
So one of the things is we have a very strong permissions model for all devices and nodes in your flow, which makes it pretty secure, so that way you don't have to worry about someone being able to tap into your flow and controlling all your home lights.
I hate it when people tap into my flow.
It just always happens, And so now we're going to press this trigger here. We see a pulse, so that lets us know messages went through.
Cool.
And in this debug output, we can see the message that comes through. And now we want to send that message out. So if I wire it to the SMS node, and I can reference it here and say, double curly braces, message dot, what did we have there? Temperature.
Cool.
And now I don't want to give out my numbers. So let's say, void. So that is totally my real number. Yes. Yeah, now if I press that, it would send me a message. Now it's probably going to error out since that's not a real number. And so we saw that pulse there. That was a response saying, hey, invalid number. And that's using just a simple SMS API. We have things like Twilio in there, so you could have one of my favorite projects that I did was I made a prank bot that just kept calling my friends with this robot voice saying that it's its new overlord, followed by Rick rolling, of course.
Robo-rolling, perhaps. So we were at IDF on Tuesday. Well, I was at IDF on Tuesday. You were there for the whole haul. But we did this workshop, which was connecting an Arduino 101, and we hooked it up to Johnny 5 Informata,
Yes, so it was an Arduino 101. That's the Intel Arduino board with the Curie. We had that hooked up through PageNodes. PageNodes is by Luis Montes from IceDev. So it's an open source project. You can go and host your own PageNodes, but it's essentially Node-RED, but runs entirely in the client side in the browser. So if you load up the web page and you turn off your internet connection, you've still got your local Node-RED running, so you can orchestrate things. And he's adding some really cool new features to it using Chrome's Web Bluetooth feature. So you can use PageNodes soon in the future. You'll be able to have your Arduino 101 instead of, in the workshop we used Serial to plug it in with the Chrome hardware extension that lets the browser access the serial port. New versions are going to use Bluetooth, so
cool. From your computer to the 101?
Yep, just from your browser, no installs.
Over-the-air programming, fantastic.
Yes. And so in our workshop, we just gave everybody Grove kits, and the objective was, in 30 minutes, get them pressing a button on their Arduino and having that trigger the webcam on the laptop, and send that to a chat room.
Sweet. Yeah, and you could add GIFs and stuff. You could send like a GIF of you being terrible or like staring at your camera like, what? You know?
There was a lot of
that,
like aimless people walking on the side.
And you also, are we allowed to talk about
this? Yes. So this is the Intel Joule. This is the case.
Very beautiful.
And this is the board. So I got my hands on one of these at the last day of the show. It's Intel's latest IoT dev board. It is incredibly powerful. There was a couple of really amazing demos. The Design Mail guys, if you've ever seen the large sand table with the tank VR augmented reality tank game with projection, that's those guys, and they have a new product coming out called Torch, which is a RealSense combined with a projector. So their demo was and they
running
had
on a Joule?
Yep, running on a Joule. Their demo, they had a full game running with just this and a RealSense camera and a projector, and they had you move a box around, and the RealSense camera would scan the movement of the box and affect the game. They actually built that in 3 days, is my understanding.
So what are you going to do with it? That's a pretty high bar to follow.
So many things. Since robotics is my forte, I'm hoping to do something with robotics and, of course, Octoblu. I'm going to try to post a couple of videos and tutorials on getting started as I figure this out, because it seems like a lot of documentation hasn't been released yet. The board was just announced a couple days ago. But it's amazing. It's got Wi-Fi with the MIMOs. It's got dual antennas, USB Type-C, USB 3.0, HDMI, a display DSI port of some sort, and it's quick rundown of specs. It's 1.7 gigahertz, 16 gigs flash, 4 gigs of DDR4, and it can do 4K video capture and display. So
that's pretty badass. That's super baller. And it's got 2 Wi-Fi antennas.
Yes.
Because it can do different types of Wi-Fi?
I think so. Actually, it looks like they're both 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. So it's I think MIMO specification is just 2 antennas to improve signal strength.
Oh, awesome. Nice. Yeah, that's always the issue that I have with like Wi-Fi connected technology. Like hardware is like just getting it to connect to the stupid thing. Like my computer can see it. Why can't you see it?
And that was a big problem with the Edisons and the Galileos. You had to attach an antenna to it. And, but these ones are much nicer antennas. They're actually the same antenna brand that's on the particle electron.
This is our next thing that we're going to show you. Our last thing today. But yeah, we'll get to that.
More suspense.
I think it's about time to talk about this, actually. Unless you want to.
Less suspense.
So here, we had a hack day, and more like, don't sleep but hack. But anyway, so we've got a particle electron here. And what we're doing is that I have art on a satellite in space. I've always wanted to hack on something with it, but I've never been able to get it working because I kind of suck at programming. But Moheeb is awesome at programming! And so we decided to track satellite 0C66 from Planet Labs, which has the NORAD ID 40956, and output basically its position onto these NeoPixel objects. We've got a ring and a stick that we're going to combine into a display. And what we got working last night is this thing that connects basically the particle electron with Octoblu to pull data from, where is it?
NTU? It's NTU, or I forget the address, but it's it's one of those sites that tracks satellites and calculates using 2-line elements, which is kind of the information you need that a satellite can give you that helps you predict where it's going to be in orbit. And so they're doing a bunch of calculation, and I'll admit, we kind of hacked the API out of it using the Chrome inspector. So if you guys are listening, sorry. And we're capturing the predicted movements, so we'll know with the epoch timestamp, Unix timestamp, where it'll be and when.
Yeah. So essentially, I'm going to do with this is take the ring and make it map to the latitude where it's currently, orbiting above, and then this and another NeoPixel stick to show the sort of longitude, and then color changing to show you how close it is and when you're going to get your next flyover, which may not be for like a couple of days, I'm not sure. So they go around every 90 minutes. It orbits the Earth 16 times a day. And so this should be a pretty fun thing to watch. I'm really excited. For right now, we've got it hooked up basically just... we've got a little bit of data we're pulling from the satellite, but right now the actual LED interaction is done with the Blue app, which we haven't shown you yet. You can just get this on your phone. Obviously it's free, and you hook it up to whatever flow you're using, and I can pray that the demo gods will be kind to me. Oh yeah, there we go. See, now we have some actual decent lighting in the studio.
Yes, there you go.
The studio's lighting is a little bit janky today. I apologize. And I can turn it off. Oh, near instantaneous. Check that out. It's going like this signal. You know why this is the perfect thing to use for this is because the signal for
satellites.
this. Yeah, talking to satellites. Oh my god. Okay.
Meta.
Learning that on a Friday. So geeky. Fantastic. Yeah. So. Really excited about all of this. I have an announcement regarding this that's going to be really exciting that you should stay tuned for, especially if you're interested in space. For now, what you can do is go check out Mauser's Iss Contest. You can submit a design and get it printed in space by the Made in Space group. They're working with Commander Hadfield. It's so cool! I mean, he's a Mountie astronaut, basically. Yeah. And we're all really excited about that. It's a collaboration with Hackster, that challenge. So go submit your idea, get it printed in space, use Octoblu, track satellites, do more cool space stuff, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.